Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. And today I'm coming with a very unique deck. One that, yes, utilizes a commander that is incredibly popular. So popular. I mean, this is like, I think the 19th most popular commander right now, if I'm remembering correctly when I just looked this up, with over 15,000 decks. And, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a different one, where your opponents are going to be like, I know what this commander does, and I'm ready to stop you. And you're like, yes, keep thinking that. And then all of a sudden it's too late, and they're like, oh no! What is happening? Let's jump into it. So, that commander is Go-Shintai of Life's Origin. So, yeah, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, it's a Shrines deck. No, and that's what your opponents are going to be thinking too, and then they're going to be very wrong about that. A 3/4 legendary enchantment creature Shrine for 4 mana in green, but it is a Wooburg commander because it has pay Wooburg tap, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It also says, well, hey, whenever another non-token Shrine enters the battlefield you control, you get a 1/1 color Shrine enchantment creature token. Which, again, is nice in what most decks are built around for this. Most of them are like, yeah, let's get all the Shrines in play. Cool, lots of fun things to happen. Yeah, that's nice, but what we're going to be doing is focusing on that first part. Again, the part that usually gets overlooked, like, it's utilized, but it's usually overlooked. 5 mana, again, Wooburg, to actually reanimate any enchantment out of our graveyard. Which is fantastic because there's one enchantment in particular that, well, I think can be just game-ending in a way. And by doing this, your opponents might get caught off guard because they're going to be like, oh, well, the value that's going to be happening from these Shrines, well, they're not getting it yet. And like, oh, no, I'm just hitting the wrong cards. All of a sudden, it is too late. This enchantment is out. You are done. Let's get into it because, well, I probably should let you know first that, again, this commander itself is about $4 or so. The card, I am making an exception on this one card that we bring up here in a little bit, is quite expensive, but the entire deck itself, according to Moxfield, $24.63, so incredibly budget-friendly still, even with these other things going on. That does not include shipping or basic lands, but you already have those. If you're interested in this deck, check out that deck listing in the description below. Now let's jump into the tactics and talk about the one card this deck is built around. Let's do it. And that would be the golden pig of this deck with Omniscience. That's right. Omniscience is the #1 card out of 99 in what this deck is built around. This card cost 7 blue. 10 mana for an enchantment. 10 mana. And you're like, it better be doing something good for that. And yes, it does. It breaks a rule of Magic, essentially. You may cast non-land cards from your hand without paying their mana cost. Just a quick rules question really quick. It's kind of redundant, isn't it? Because it says you may cast non-land cards. You can't cast lands. I mean, I guess it's just to be like more specific for probably newer players, I guess, so they're not confused that you can cast lands, but you can't cast lands. You play lands. Regardless, yeah, free spells. All your spells are free. Breaks the rule of Magic. The first thing you learn in Magic, all right, here's a card. This is the cost. You pay this with your lands and stuff like that. And be like, oh, okay, cool. This is like, no. You have this in play. Do whatever you want. It's basically Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know how Yu-Gi-Oh works, but it's like, play things for free, okay? So, sorry, Yu-Gi-Oh players out there. I'm probably very wrong on that. That being said, yeah, play everything for free. And essentially, once you get this in play, there is no stopping you. So yeah, Golden Pig, entire deck is built around this. Not Shrines. Your opponents might be thinking, oh, again, where's the Shrines? And all of a sudden you're like, Omniscience in my graveyard, bring it back. Oh no, they're in trouble. Here we go. So, tactic number 2, to the yard, because we need to set ourselves up for this one, right? You can't just be like, okay, Omniscience in my graveyard to start the game off. That'd be nice. I mean, your opponents would know what was going on then and have ample opportunities to remove it, but no, that's not going to happen because we've got ways to actually get it into our graveyard. Lively Dirge, a great new one. Sorcery for 2 mana. Spree, though, paying extra mana. Well worth it. Search life for a card. Put in your graveyard, then shuffle. You could also do something else with the Spree, but we don't care about that too much. Return to 2 creature cards. Total mana value 4 less your graveyard of the battlefield. Nice, but again, what we need is a 3 mana. Go get our card. Put it in our graveyard. Activate our commander. Cheat it into play. Next up, Mythos of Brokos. Sorcery for 4 mana in green. But if Dimir was spent to cast this spell, search your library for a card, put that card in your graveyard, then shuffle your library, return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. It doesn't say target, actually, so it's, again, up to. So you don't have to actually bring anything back. You can get things, you know, obviously, if you need to get things back, great. But more so, it's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, Omniscience in my graveyard. Great, thank you very much. Auric Lore Mage, an incredible one, because this one we can utilize at instant speed like our Commander's ability. Tap, search life for a card, put in your graveyard, then shuffle. If it's in sorcery card, get a counter on it. We're not going to be getting a counter. We don't care. We actually just go, okay, oh, wait, oh, your turn, right? End of your turn? Okay, before it passes to me, tap this, Omniscience in my graveyard, pay 5 mana, tap my commander, Omniscience in play. My next turn is going to be a lot of fun. Yay! And your opponent's like, oh my gosh, no! Violent Tomb Ray, another great one, though. ETB on a 2/2 Death Toucher. Search life for a card, put it in your graveyard. Final Parting, an incredible one, because this one is a tutor, basically a double tutor. Get 1 card in your hand, 1 card in your graveyard to your deck. So yeah, set yourself up for success with this. Gravebreaker Lamia, another great ETB again. Go get any card, put it in your graveyard. It also makes spells cost less from your graveyard too, which is nice, I guess. But more importantly, again, yeah, tutor out Omniscience essentially by getting in your graveyard, getting your commander to get it out. Moving on though, what if our, commander actually says, you know what, hey, Omniscience, it isn't actually in the library, it's in your hand, and I need it in the graveyard to do that. So let's loot! Lots of loot in tactic number 3. Is it Charm? Instant for 2 mana. Is it? Choose 1, counter target non-creature spell, this sword pays 2. 2 damage to our creature, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So again, a lot of great options, but again, a way to dig down into our deck and actually either get cards that we need, which, after you get Omniscience, just having free draw spells or free loot spells are incredible. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But yes, being able to also, if Omniscience is in our hand or we dig into it, get it into our graveyard quite easily. Next up, Frantic Search. Again, instant speed, draw 2, discard 2, untap 3 lands. This is, well, getting your mana back, essentially. Maybe even more so, but also when you have Omniscience in play, get free mana. What's not to love about that? So I guess if you need it, cool, you have it. Pulse of the Grid. Draw 2 cards, discard a card. If an opponent has more cards in their hand than you, return it to its owner's hand. This is one that is quite funny because, again, when you have Omniscience in play, you can just, literally manipulate your hand to probably ensure that you stay underneath your opponent's total for quite a long time by just playing this again and again and again, casting other things, again, casting other things, keeps coming back to your hand as long as the opponent has more cards in hand than you. There's also ways to make opponents draw cards too, so that can be a win condition, and also it can be a way to keep your opponent having more cards in their hand than you, so you can keep pulsing of the grid. Next up, you find the Villain's Lair. Very flexible. Love it. Counter target spell or draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So again, once we got Omniscience in play, this is a free counter spell for us, which is lovely. Or a way to loot it again and get it in the graveyard. Careful Consideration. Target player draws 4 cards, discard 3 cards. If it was cast during a main phase, instead, draw 4, discard 2. Reign of Ovulation, draw 3, discard a card. Enhanced Awareness does the exact same thing, essentially. Practical Research, draw 4, discard 2 unless you discard a sorcery card. Thought Flare, draw 4, discard 2. Prying Eyes, draw 4, discard 2. A lot of amazing instant speed card draw because, again, once we get Omniscience in play, it is off to the races for us. We are like, oh yeah, you're trying to stop me? No, let me just dig for something that can stop that, essentially. Or just saying like, oh yeah, you tried to do something? Okay, let me do something in response and stop what's going on here. Or let me just dig through my entire deck, get exactly what I need to essentially win the game. So yeah, we have so much draw, so much loot, absolutely amazing things to happen in this deck. Next up, though, tactic number 4, go get it. Yeah, we already talked about other looting effects that, go and get Omniscience, put in our graveyard. But also, sometimes, you need a, tutoring effect to go get one of those, potentially. Or just a tutor effect to go get the exact card that you need in the situation that you're in. Once you already have things set up. Covenant Prize, search life for a card, put in your hand. Cool. I mean, it also does party things. Don't worry about that, though. Just, yeah, go get it. Next up, Ballistic Shipment. We can sacrifice a creature to casualty 3 if you want to copy this. If not, yeah, just go get a card, put in your hand. Razgest Right, again, another tutor for 5 mana. Or free if you have Omniscience in play. Cycle it away for a single black mana, though. Again, ways that can help us early if we need to say, okay, go get a card that can help us get Omniscience into our graveyard. Whether, again, we have Omniscience in our hand already, so you'll get, a looting effect, essentially. Great, do that. Or, yeah, go get one of those cards that can tutor Omniscience right into our graveyard. Or, again, once we already have Omniscience in play, yeah, then go get the exact card that you need for the situation that you are in. But of course, once Omniscience is in play, card draw is the name of the game. Which, I mean, it does help us out earlier too to dig into the cards that we actually need to do this. But still, once Omniscience is in play, hey, let's just draw a ton of cards, dig through our deck, never run out of draw, essentially, and and just keep doing this as long as we actually need to win. Precognitive Perception, draw 3 cards, but if you cast during main phase, scry 3, then draw 3. So yeah, dig down in your deck even further. Rush of Knowledge, draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. If Omniscience is in play, this is free, draw 10 cards. Lovely. And if it's not in play, if our commander's in play, it's just like draw 4. Still, for 5 mana, that's not too bad. Tidings, speaking of which, 5 mana, draw 4. Ugin's Insight, scry X to the highest mana value among permanents you control, then draw 3. So again, if it's our commander, cool. Scry 4, draw 3, that's nice. If not, yeah, with our Omniscience in play, that could be scry 10, draw 3. Get the exact cards that you need, essentially. Urban Evolution, also draw 3, but also get initial land into play, which is nice. Early ramp for us as well if you need it. Boon of the Wishgiver, early on you can cycle away if you need to, or draw 4 cards for 6, or again, free with Omniscience. Cosmic Epiphany, draw cards equal to the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. That can be an absurd amount. Again, really, once you get things going, once you get this engine going, once Omniscience is in play, you've got so many ways to draw so many cards to tutor out whatever you need to tutor out. Yeah, you can really keep things going and just not stop. Dragon Lord's Prerogative. Hey, draw 4. We're not going to reveal Dragon. Don't worry about that. Opportunity. Target player draws 4. Again, it does say target, which does matter because this can actually be a weird win condition for us where, yeah, with this kind of a build, again, being able to cast things freely again and 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 again, all of a sudden you can just dig through your deck. And then, yeah, we might have ways to make sure that we don't mill ourselves, so keep that in mind. We'll talk about that and maybe reset things. And then all of a sudden, do it again and again and again and again, which means that we can keep casting this essentially infinitely, but not infinitely, enough to mill everyone out and make them draw to lose. Sudden Insight. Draw a card for each different mana value among non-land cards in your graveyard. Again, that can be an absolute ton. Cruel Ultimatum, yet another way to potentially win. Costs a lot of different kinds of mana. Don't worry about that. Again, you're going to cast it when Omniscience is in place. You're going to cast it for free. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card to the graveyard to your hand. Draw 3 cards, gain 5 life. Yeah, 3 bad things for the opponent, 3 great things for you. So yeah, they can lose the game by not having any life. You can also get rid of any resources they have from their hand too, which is lovely. And all their creatures in play too, essentially, as things go, while also gaining all the life, drawing all the cards. And sure, if you had a creature in your graveyard, why not? Next up, Inspired Ultimatum, yet another way to win, potentially. Target player gains 5 life, 5 damage to any target, you draw 5 cards. So again, basically wipe out everything that you need when you're casting this again and again and again and again and again. And there's ways to loop it as well that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, 5 damage to opponent's face. What's not to love about that? Into the Story. Draw 4 cards for 7 mana. It costs 3 less to cast opponent's 7 more cards in their graveyard. That might happen, but again, if not with Omniscience play, it does not matter. Next up, tactic number 6. Every day I'm shuffling. Anyone LMFAO? No? Okay. Clear the Mind. Sorcerer 3 mana. Target player shuffles their graveyard in their library. Draw a card. Yeah, by having shuffle effects like this, we can ensure that we are not stopping. We are saying, oh, I'm drawing through my deck. Cool. All right, I played all these spells. You know what? Let's shuffle those back in. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. And again. And again. And again. Ensuring that we are not running out of cards. We get to the things that we need to actually win. And yes, we can actually ensure that. Primal Command, another great way to do so. Choose 2, target player, gain 7 life. Put target non-creature prone on top of its owner's library. Target player shuffles their graveyard in the library. Search life for a creature card, reveal, put in your hand, then shuffle. All great options, actually. Life gain, yeah, that's okay. I mean, pad your life total a little bit if you need to. Get rid of things with that, putting on top of the library. That's nice. Making yourself shuffle your graveyard can be fantastic, obviously, like we've talked about. And of course, tutoring a creature card could be one of those creatures like Auric Lore Mage to actually get Omniscience to our graveyard. So this can set ourselves up or actually help us once we get things going. But now let's go on to tag number 7, bring it back. Some other stars of the show, though, are our regrowth type effects, like regrowth. 2 mana, bring any card back from our graveyard to our hand. Keep in mind, it does not exile, and that can be huge because we can create some loops that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Call to Mind, bring back an instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Naya Charm, again, bring back any card from your graveyard to your hand, or 3 damage to a creature, or target players is going to tap all their creatures down. So very flexible for us. Recollect. Basically more expensive regrowth, but again, does not matter what Omniscience is in play. Everything is free. Bring a card back from your graveyard to your hand. Relearn, bring an instant Interrupt, which is an instant essentially. Your sorcery, basically it's just instant or sorcery back from your graveyard to your hand as well. Determine. This one we can actually, Bound is the regrowth type effect. Sacrifice a creature, return X card to your graveyard to your hand, where X the number of colors that creature was removed from the game. Our commander is technically only 1 color, which is okay. I mean, it's 5 color with its color identity, but its color is actually, just 1 with bound. That's okay. Bring back whatever card you need if you need to do that. Or Determine is quite nice to protect yourself on your turn. Other spells you control can't be countered by spells or abilities this turn. Draw a card. Yeah, this is like, hey, if you can't stop this, you can't stop me at all. So here we go. Then we've got Down and Dirty. Target player discards 2 cards. Dirty. Turn target card from your graveyard to your hand if you need it. Said and done, bring back target in-source card from grave to your hand or tap to target creatures. Those creatures don't tap during controller's next untap step. When it comes to actually having a loop happening, though, we've got a way to do that in our next tactic. Because with tactic number 8, we've got another fantastic enchantment that, yeah, we could cheat out with our commander if we really need to or really want to. Swarm Intelligence, a great one. 7 mana enchantment. Every cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that spell. You may choose targets to the copy. This is absolutely incredible. It can help us with some loops with this deck, which can help us win without actually having to shuffle our library again, which we can do, of course. But yeah, we can just essentially be like, oh, you know what? Okay, I've got 2 regrowth type effects. I cast one, I get something back. Oh, cool, and it copies as well, so I get 2 things back, actually. Those go back to my hand, regrowth's in my graveyard. I cast another one, let's say Recollect. I bring back regrowth and something else back to my hand. I do this again and again and again and again. Since you have Omniscience, you can cast everything for free, so you can just get in these loops where you're like, okay, I do all these things. I cast Opportunity, essentially, not infinite times rules lawyers out there, but as many times as it takes, take your opponents out, or Cruel Ultimatum, or whatever you want to cast, essentially, to ensure that you are taking your opponents out, because, again, you've got these loops, you've got all the free mana to utilize. Swarm Intelligence lets you utilize those regrowth type effects to just basically go infinite. Yes, rules lawyers out there, I know, not technically infinite, but still, you win the game. But now we want to tactic number 9, ramp it up, because, yeah, we want things to go quite quickly, and we want mana to do all the juicy things in one turn, essentially. We want to be able to, like, okay, you know what? I get it into my graveyard from my library, or I loot it out of my hand in my graveyard, or I just hard cast Omniscience, because you could do that as well. But yeah, being able to do all the things on one turn to get Omniscience in play and all of a sudden just be good to go. Be able to just take over the game. So yeah, ramp it up, let's do so. Starting with Wayfarer's Bauble, of course, pay 2 tap, sacrifice, get a basic land to play, tap. Fauna Fertility, basically exact same thing, but on an enchantment. Diligent Farmhand, basically exact same thing, but on a creature. Also Council Muscle Burst, don't worry about that. Then we've got Rampant Growth, the OG ramp spell, 2 mana, basic into play, tap. Edge of Autumn, the exact same thing, but we've got 4 fewer lands, or you can cycle away by sacrificing a land. Cultivate, get 2 lands, 1 goes into our play, 1 goes into our play, 1 goes into our hand, 1 goes into play, tap. Both are going to be basics. Dire Strain, Rampage, search target artifact, enchantment, or land. Land was destroyed this way. It's going to may search life for the 2 base land cards, below outfield, tap, then shuffle. Otherwise, search for 1 essentially. You can flash this back as well. This actually can be kind of some sneaky ramp for us, or a way to destroy some things if we actually need to. Grow from the Ashes, kick it for 2. Get 2 lands into play untapped if you kicked it, or just 1 to play untapped if you didn't. Then there's Harrow, sacrifice 1 land, get 2 into play untapped as well at instant speed. Roiling Growth, the exact same thing, but those lands come into play. Tap, search for tomorrow, a great turn 1 play. Suspend 2 for a single green mana, get a land into play untapped. I do say a land, all these are basics, okay? Swing Bloom Druid, sacrifice 1 land, 2 into play, tap. Basically Roiling Regrowth on a body. Explosive Vegetation, 2 basics into play, tap. Migration Path, the exact same thing, but you can cycle away. Vastwood Surge, you can kick it and get counters on your creatures. If you really want to do that, you don't really have to do that, but you can do that. Nissa's Renewal, another great one as well. Go get 3 into play, tap. Also, you gain 7 life. Verdant Confluence, you can also get 3 into play as well. Or you get 2 counters on a creature, or bring back permanents from your graveyard to your hand if you need to do that. Verdant Mastery, if you play it for less, just 4 mana essentially, you can get 4 lands. 1 goes into play tapped under opponent's control, 2 under play tapped under your control, 1 goes in your hand. If you paid 6 instead, the full mana, you get those 2 lands in your hand, 2 into play tapped as well. But now this episode is coming to a close, it's time for me to hear from you, so let me know what your thoughts are on this deck in the comments below. Again, Go-Shintai of Life's Origin is an incredibly popular commander. Again, I believe the 19th most popular commander right now, but again, double check me on that. Yeah, a ton of decks to its name. Again, I think over 15,000 over the past 2 years. A very popular commander. Again, nearly all the builds are Shrine Tribal. So when you pull it out, your opponent's going to be like, oh, that's Shrine Tribal. I'm ready against that. I know what's going to be happening. And you're like, yeah, it definitely is. What's that tutor spell you're playing to get something in your graveyard? Oh no, it's Omniscience. Oh no, let me try to stop it. Oh no, they drew their deck. Oh no, they're doing this. Yeah, you can do some crazy things with a deck like this. So again, if you're interested in this one, make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. Again, even though Omniscience is like a $7 card, the commander itself is like $4 or so. It's still only a $24.63 deck card to Moxfield. Make sure you check it out. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.